Good morning and welcome. If you are joining me live, do come on and say hello, share where you're joining us from. Lovely to hear from you. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and I enjoy coming in on sharing some crafting with you. It is often off the top of my head, unplanned. Today is no exception. We will see where the morning's crafting takes us. It could turn out beautifully, it could be a disaster, but actually it's the same in my craft room as it is in yours. That's the way it goes sometimes. But normally we can bring it round and create some lovely things because we are using fantastic products. So do come on and say hello and tell me where you're joining from. Let me do a few quick introductory slides to things that I can help you with and that you can find. Morning, Lisa. This is my website. You can come over here and find blog posts and links to shops and links to classes, links to downloads, all sorts of things over on my website. That's sort of the hub where you'll find all sorts of things. So do go and check that out. I'll do a quick run through of classes and events and things that are coming up. So we have got tonight is a bingo night, but after tonight, the next one is going to be in December. The 2nd of December is a Christmassy bingo games night. So if you couldn't join us for this evening and wondered when the next one is going to be, we're going to have one in that sort of just before Christmassy time when we can have some Christmas fun, but things haven't quite got too mad just yet. So do come and join us at the beginning of December for a craft night. Next week is a kit class. So it isn't just about having the kit. You can come and do this class in person. And this time we're going to be using the Sending Smiles bundle along with some beautiful brushed papers to create some lovely cards. So 5 cards to create, some of them fancy folds and sorts of things. So really pretty cards. So that's a lovely class. Do come and join us. This is the evening Stamper Stack for October. That's on the 28th of October, but there is also a daytime version. So let's add the other one to the stream. So the daytime version is on the 23rd. Oh, that's the wrong class. That says the 23rd of September. I haven't swapped that one. I will have to look up. I will make sure that I've got that right for you next time. But there is also a family and friends Stamper Stack coming up in October, as well as a daytime one, and I will make sure that that slide is changed for next time. But if you are interested, do go and check out my website. All the classes and things are listed on there, and you can have this either to come and make in person, or if you're not able to join me but are still local here in the UK and roundabout, then do come and join me for the family and friends. Just trying to fit the family and friends Stamper Stack. So it's the same class, but one is a daytime, one is an evening, but you can have that as a kit as well. We've got a One Sheet Wonder Technique class coming up in October, and there is no Saturday class in October. You'll see why in a moment, but there is a Christmas one coming up in November. So if you'd like to come and do an all-day Saturday Stampers class with me on a theme of Christmas, then do look at that and come and join us. The reason that there isn't a Saturday Stampers in October is because we've got the retreat. So that's an all day from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, completely catered for. You get, pastries when you arrive, you get lunch, you get evening meal, you get cakes and biscuits in between, all provided for that wonderful day out in the Northamptonshire countryside. So do come and join us for that. If you're not able to make it in person, there is still time to sign up for a retreat in a box, and I will be putting the order in for the supplies for that in the next day or two. So if you've not yet signed up and would like to, be quick, because that order is going in very soon. And the other thing we've got coming up at the end of October is a stamp camp. So this isn't me alone. This is 13 demonstrators altogether. providing you with 26 ideas to use with your Boughs of Holly suite. And the way that you join that is to purchase that Boughs of Holly suite from one of the participating demonstrators. So don't miss out on that, because that's a great day and great value. And the only other thing to flag up is that today is your last day to get your hands on these partners dies and stamp bundles. The stamp sets will carry on, but the dies will disappear after today. So if you want any of those, do make sure that you get your hands on them before the end of the day. Don't miss out. Okay, so quick whiz through of all the things that are going on. Any questions, anything that you want to know more about, do obviously get in touch, do shout, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Hi Glenda, hi Jane, lovely to have you both with us. Hopefully it's a bit warmer for you than it is for us. It's a little bit chilly. We've gone from sort of being really quite warm to the mornings being really quite chilly. Yes, and everybody's sort of hesitant about putting on heating and things because the cost of fuel and things has soared so much. So we're braving it out and just putting on extra socks and what have you. So yeah, I hope it's warmer for you than it is for us. But let's get on with excellent. Please, it's a beautiful day, because I know that you've had some sort of cold and chilly and yucky weather over there that you don't always anticipate as well. I think the weather has just gone mad, hasn't it? But let's not worry about the weather for a moment. Let's have a little look at what we're going to be playing with. And I've got a blank screen. There we go. I'll be adding it in. So I'm going to be doing some thank you cards today. That's the plan. And I've been sort of grabbing out a few things. So, you know, some of these things will be used and some won't. But here's some ideas if you're needing to make thank you cards. This Go-To Greetings stamp set. It's one I treated myself to in the stamp sale that we recently had. And it's a fabulous stamp set. So it is red rubber, as you can see. And you have got mainly 3 greetings. You've got happy birthday. No, 4. Happy birthday, thinking of you, just a note, and thank you. So 4 really fabulous greetings, but it sort of comes in a variety of fonts. So you've got this really, really curly scripty font just here. You've got this font down here, which is a bit smaller, still rather beautiful. And then you've got this font just here that is smaller again, still really pretty curly sort of a font, but a little bit sort of less fancy. And then sneaking in there at the top is just a little hello. So it's a really great stamp set, you know, to use alongside all of your other dies, stamps, all of those things. It's a great go-to, literally a go-to greeting stamp. So yeah, so that one we've got on the side that we might use. I've picked out the Artistically Inked Stamp set. I'm going to have a bit of play with that. It's got this really lovely thanks in there, and I've not played with this for a while, so I thought we'd perhaps have a bit of a play with that. I have dug out the dies, the amazing thanks dies, because we have got these thanks dies here. We've got a bit of a thank in there as well, so we can chop the S off and make it thank you if we want to. We can even have an amazing thanks if you should so wish, but that's a great sort of go-to thank as well. And the other thing I've picked out is the Heron habitat, and because I've got a sort of vague idea, and I thought that one we might work with that one. We'll see. Right, okay, so as always, vague ideas. Let's see where it takes us. So I'm thinking I'm going to bring in this Artistically Inked Stamp set. Just going to quickly that's great. Embossing folder. Grabbed the quatrefoil tile embossing folder. I just want something it pretty in the background. Right, okay, let's take this piece of basic white. To start with, I'm going to cut it at 14.4 and one piece at 10. And that is the piece that I'm going to emboss. And then I want another piece, and I'm going to cut this going to go 9 by 9. No, 9 by 10. I may trim that down eventually, we'll see. So I want that sitting on the top here. It will depend whether I decide to put anything underneath it. Right, let's emboss this piece of white to start with. So as I say, I've got the quatrefoil tile embossing folder here. This isn't a 3D embossing folder. This is just a standard embossing folder. I'm going to pop that in there. So for a standard embossing folder, we want the number 1 base plate and our 2 acrylic plates. We don't want the number 2 die adapter one in there. So just number 1 and 2 number 3s. Let's run that through our machine. My plates are getting very battered. It's nearly time to change them, but we get the most out of them that we can, as long as they are still functioning. And there we have. It sort of reminds me all of almost of Anna Glitter wallpaper. So I've got a bit of embossed detail in the back there, and then I've got this piece of card, and I'm going to do some stamping on there. So I want that big stamp, this twirly whirly stamp, little one in the middle, and these leaves. We may well want some dots, and we're obviously going to want a thanks, because we're going to do a thank you card. And I've got some pale papaya for this centerpiece. I think some parakeet party for those leaves. I think I'm going to go fresh freesia for the big flower and orchid oasis for those smaller ones. Then we're going to have our thanks. Now I might stamp the thanks in first. I think I'm going to do that in black. And let's take, what shall we take? D block, I think. Let's ink that up. Sorry to battle you. And have that thanks in the centre there. Pop that lid back on. We'll pop the thanks off and put this big flower on. Let's ink this up. Thank you, Belinda. It is a creative process. It is a little bit of a, okay, where are we going from here? Have that here. I love the sort of swooshy effect of this stamp set. It's not, you know, it's not strictly formed. There's not any really tight structure about it. It's quite soft sort of outlines, quite abstracty. Let's come in with pale papaya and we'll pop that in the center of those flowers. To bring in this work, I need C block probably for that one. Ooh. Some blue in there. Parakeet party. Where shall we have these leaves coming from? Here. I have some more in that side, but not the other, I think. And let's bring in this little spotty one. And I think we'll go back to pale papaya. And we'll just add in a few little dots. You could very quickly fill a whole sheet with this one, couldn't you, and make a gorgeous background paper. Let's see if I've got a pre-folded thick basic white. I have. Now, a few dots. My ribbon had tied itself around something. Do we want a bit of ribbon? And if so, where? And do we want a bit of pop of blue under there? Yes, I quite like the idea of a pop of blue under there. I'm going to cut that down in a minute. But the question then comes, would we rather have a pop of blue under there? And I think the answer to that is yes, we would. Let's just move that white card out of the way and bring in our trimmer. And we'll cut this card in half. So I was starting out thinking, well, perhaps white on white and sort of go down that line. But no, I quite like the blue card base, I think. Like that. And we'll bring this piece of card just here and we'll cut it to 10 centimetres wide, which is perfect because it's got a bit of a crease mark on that edge. But by cutting it to 10 centimetres wide, we have managed to trim that off. Yes. Bit of a bow on the other end of my ribbon somewhere. Looking good. Right, let's find some ribbon scissors. To leave that fairly long, I think. Let's bring in some blue. It's amazing how a bit of embossing, running a piece of card through an embossing folder can make all the difference to it. Stick that to this. It's the same width, just longer to give a pop top and bottom. I think I'm going to stick that on flat. I don't think that needs raising. A glue dot. It's quite funny because like all crafters, I have my doubts at my own ability, and there's always somebody that you see that's much better than you and all of those sorts of things. So it is always lovely to see comments like you like to see the creative process, because I think that is quite nice to see it from start to finish and sort of know that everybody else goes through that process and some of those ideas that come. Also, one of the other things I've been doing this week, I did some training that was talking about what's your why, and I haven't really quite pinned it down yet as to a statement for why I do what I do, but I think it has to do something about inspiring and teaching. I think it has to be in there. So if that is something that I help, that I do help do, then I think possibly I am fulfilling my why somewhere along the line. There we are. We've just put a few of those in colour dots in. That obviously will need a white insert in there. We could add in a little bit more of that stamping. I think let's cut this down to 9.5 by 13.9. So with my inserts, I tend to come down, sorry, not the first size mat, it tends to be a second size mat. So if that was US, that would be 5 inches by 3 3/4, wouldn't it? And let's, I think, come back in with the Orchid Oasis. You could do similar on the envelope. Let's have some Orchid Oasis in there, and then let's bring in a Parakeet Party. Just add in. Throw it in the bin. Let's add in a few leaves. There we go. We can stick that inside. So there, thanks. So there's one little thank you card saying that's using the Artistically Inked. So that's one that they quite often sort of get put on the shelf, don't they, when they're no longer new in the catalogue. So that was a carrying over stamp set. There is dies that coordinate with it. So you can die cut those flowers if you want to, and those leaves. And you've also got these lovely intricate dies in there as well. But obviously no longer available as a bundle price because it is a carryover item. So it's been around for a little while now, but that doesn't make it any the less beautiful. Let's pop that just there. And then I think I'm going to bring in Stamper Artist. Because I think let's go for, find this go-to greetings. I'm going to find the big fancy thank you. That's just a note. This one just here. The big fancy thank you, and it is quite a big substantial size stamp. And let's have a little play and see if we can do some hinged stamping with it. So I think we will go 9.5 by 13.9. So that we can add a border of colour on the back. Oh, Belinda, thank you. I might have to put that as a quote. In fact, if you're happy for me to use that as a quote, I think I might definitely use that as a quote. So thank you. Yeah, so do let me know if you're happy for me to use that. So I just done with that stamp. And you know, letting people know that it's perfectly normal for your things to all go completely missing. But it's on the bottom of my trimmer. It is. I thought as much. Okay, bring in our, I don't know how this is going to go in terms of repeat stamping. Don't need that mat in there because it is a rubber stamp. So let me just have a look. So if that's one, it's not quite straight, but I'm just doing a guide. It will come just above that 5 centimetre mark. Let's take it down one. I think it will just squeeze in. I'm going to do a drum roll. Right, let's line this up here now. Bring that up so it's looking fairly straight, and I'm looking at the lines that are on the grid to see that that's okay. Right, okay. So I think we will go, I'm going to go back to my Orchid Oasis. Use my arm. Let's move our one card that we've done out of the way. Bring this up so that you can see it. Lay this down so it's fairly flat on there. Oh, don't wiggle. Thank you. Now this is where we're going to have a drum roll to see if it does indeed fit. Always bearing in mind that every piece of card has two sides. Yes. Oh, over stamped slightly there. I'm going to bring it down. I'm not going to re-ink it. Do it slightly, and it's still over inking on that side. We will sort something out for that. Let's take it down. Another one. And I think to move this magnet up here. And we'll do this one. We'll link this one up as well. So we've just got that one paler one in the middle. This isn't quite flat, which is why it is catching the edge. Let's just take that excess ink off of there. Brilliant. So we've got a whole row of thank yous coming down there with that one in the middle that is slightly paler. As I say, we'll find a way to disguise those, even if it means we could possibly get away with trimming that cardstock slightly if we need to. There's always a way. Let's just move that to one side. So of course that is the one reason why, above all stamp positioning tools, you want the Stamparatus, because that's the only one that you can really do that thing with, that technique with. Right, I'm going to take this squidgy stamp here. So this is the Heron Habitat. And I'm going to take some Tahitian Tide, to ink that up. I'm going to stamp it off because I don't want it to be quite that dark. And then hopefully somewhere I have got a marker, evening evergreen marker. So I'm just going to take the top, go over the top of that Tahitian Tide and add in green for sort of weeds and things around the edge of that water. I'm going to take a few bits of these grasses just here. And cut just some little bits of grass out of these die cut grasses out of evening of green. Oh, I need I took out my die cut mat now, so I need to pop that back in. Otherwise, my sandwich is not got enough filling. Let's have some bits of that, and I don't know where we're going to want those yet. We'll see. Then I think this piece of card just here will hopefully be just about, yes, perfect. I need to take out another, somewhere buried, I had just here, an early espresso stamping white marker. So let's take H block work. I do believe it will. Let's come in with Orchid Oasis again. We're going to ink him up with Orchid Oasis. My Orchid Oasis is a particularly juicy ink pad. I'm going to wipe his legs and bring in my early espresso and add in brown legs, just because we can. Now that's overstamped a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to die cut that. Enjoy your dog walk, Belinda. Thank you. Bring in this Heron die, and I'm going to die cut that Heron. Missed out slightly on his legs just there, so I'm just going to bring in this early espresso. Let's bring in some extra bit of leg on that side, so he doesn't look as if he is totally without legs. Our greenery that we can add in down here. I'm wondering if we opt for one. Yeah, I think we'll go that way. Let's just pop our little bits of grass to one side for a moment till we're ready to put him all together. And then 14.4. I'm going to score this one at 10.5. There's a bit of card in my groove. Put me off my groove. There we go. On here. Let's just pop these dies back on the magnetic sheet. Let's bring in some dimensionals, I think, and we'll raise up our heron. Let's take some scissors and just cut a really thin little slither on the edge. This one. Now I'm wondering, I want a little bit of twine under there. No, I don't think I want twine underneath my heron. Let's put Heron on. Let's put him on in place. Have him standing the edge of this water. Let's bring in these little bits of grass. I'm going to sort of stick them over the bottom sections of his legs down here. That little bit coming out to the side there. A bit coming out of the side just there. Just rummage through my couldn't find what I was looking for. Here we go. Take some of these little pebbles. Where have you gone? Let's add some of these along the bottom here. Then we have got the issue of our little blobs. I'm going to come back in some Orchid Oasis and this little bird stamp. is a very, very inky ink pad, which is why it is picking up the ink all round. Just need to be very, very gentle. Put some birds there. Brilliant. A little bit of scrap paper. Sides. To cover up these pieces just here. Let's have a little bird there and a little bird there. I think we'll come in the other side and have a big bird there. I think that will work, won't it? So, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you is a hinged technique. And then with this one, we had a bit of embossing, we had a bit of playing around with that artistically inked stamp set. So artistically inked and Heron habitat make two very different cards. This one would be brilliant for more of a feminine card, and this would be great for more of a masculine card. So whoever you're saying thank you, and for whatever you're saying thank you, hopefully that gives you a card for the occasion. So they look very different, using different products and different supplies, but yeah, two fun cards. It's always good to say thank you. So all that remains is for me to say thank you to you. I really do always appreciate the fact that you drop by to join me as I ramble on and get creative and get messy. So it's always lovely to have you join me. So thank you. Do spread the news. Do invite other people to come and join us as well. It's always lovely to see everything grow, to see our little community of Love-a-Duckies grow. So thank you for joining me. I will be back on Monday when it will be October. Where is this year going? I really don't know. It is flying by. But I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. If you are you signed up to join in for World Card Making Day activities? I hope so. I will add in the links as I did on Monday to the blurb for this video. Come and join us, either the Stampin' Up event, which is a free event for everybody, customers, demonstrators, anybody in between, sort of casual observers, whatever you class yourself as, do come and join the Stampin' Up World Card Making Day event. And likewise, do come and join the Facebook group for the Crafty Collaborations Communities World Card Making Day event, where there'll be lots of brilliant videos with all sorts of different products and projects and techniques. And all of those, both of those things, you're going to be able to watch on playback somewhere along the line if you're not able to see it live. So do get yourself signed up so that you don't miss out on the fun. So happy World Card Making Day for tomorrow. For those of you that are demonstrators, happy New Year, because it's the start of our Stampin' Up year tomorrow. So yeah, it'll lots of things happening, lots of exciting things happening. So I look forward to seeing you on Monday. So have a fabulous weekend.